Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Taee TV. I'm back. I want to let you
Baseball
guys
fan.
know well, the reason why I haven't been on for the past couple of days is because yesterday was my birthday. I'm 26. I'm thankful and I'm grateful that I made it to see 26. As you guys can see, I went to the barber shop, got a fresh cut, and I got my hair done. But as you guys know, the grind don't stop, so I just came across this is my first time watching this Taraji P Henson interview. Let's get into it and let's see what she's going to be talking about in this interview.
The season's in full swing. The action is heating up across the league, and now's the time to get in on it. All right, now check out DraftKings Pick Six, the exciting new ways to play daily fantasy sports. All new customers who play just $5 will score $50 in bonus picks. All right, perfect riding the highs of every homer, hitter, and walk-off win. All you gotta do is download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and sign up with code TBC to claim your offer. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. Getting started is simple. Just download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and sign up with code TBC. Pick at least 2 players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Like will a player score more than 2.5 runs or throw less than 6.5 strikeouts. Lock them in and compete against others for a shot at huge cash prizes, alright? So all you gotta do, download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and sign up with code TBC. The crown is yours.
Wake that ass up in the morning.
Here we go.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, just hilarious. Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Long Rosa is here as well. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
The icon,
The legend.
Taraji P.
Taraji
Welcome
P.
back.
Thank you.
She's
I
a
can't
legend.
tell that I'm a legend because I'm not on this wall.
No.
Can you get the wall?
We got something special for you. It's
I
not
don't
done
want
yet. I'm
to hear
telling you.
what's special. I need to be on the wall.
Yeah. It's going to be bigger than the wall. And it's going to be something that's in the studio because, you know, we love you, Angie, love you. Watch. You'll see. Watch. Just watch. Watch. It's going to be worth it.
You know, I've been told them. Push me up.
What he said to me as soon as I walk in here? The legend. Bullshit. You sound like a Hollywood exec right now.
And I know Taraji is going to be herself.
Right.
Nobody said that to you no more.
What?
I think it was somebody else.
It's just the whole Hollywood of it all. We love her. We love her. Well, where is my check,
Yeah.
bitch?
One thing I know about you and OGs
She
like
don't play about no
y'all
money.
Y'all
I can be. You know, the thing is, the older you get, I just can't do the BS. Like, just be real with me. That's all. I'm a grown ass girl, I'm a woman. I can take it. Just be real. Don't be blowing smoke.
How are you
Right.
feeling? We didn't ask you. How are you feeling? We didn't ask.
I'm feeling great. I am
That's
feeling
good.
amazing, to be quite honest, because I'm not dealing with nobody's unhealed son or daughter.
Yeah.
I say
All right. That's right.
I can't. You're not on your healing journey. I can't help you, baby, because I can't take on your trauma while I'm trying to get over mine.
That's right.
And you're not trying to heal yours. I can't help you. I'm not qualified.
Being real.
Now you loving on yourself.
Oh my God, the peace that I found. Like, you know, even somebody asking me to come out, the first question I ask is it going to disturb my peace?
Right.
Because you know, when you're young, you got to have FOMO a little bit. It's like, I got to go, and then you find yourself going, why did I just stay home? You know? No more of those moments, because I'd rather be
right.
home with my fat Frenchies.
You know, when being an advocate for mental health ever made you feel more exposed than being just a public figure in Hollywood?
More exposed?
Yeah, because you tell more of yourself you're a mental health advocate. So you probably, if you was just Taraji in Hollywood and wasn't that, you wouldn't have to probably give up so much.
That's true. But
Yeah.
I've kind of always been that, so I wear my heart on my sleeve. So
And
I
I'm
just-
glad
I don't know
Taraji
if I
takes
feel any
mental
different.
health serious,
I'm
and I'm
feeling
glad
good.
that she prioritizes her mental health, because you have to be good
You
mentally.
don't have to come out.
You have to be good mentally, because if you're not good mentally, that's how that's how your crash. I remember there was. Guys, I'm being honest. I remember there was a time when I wasn't good mentally, but I'm much, much, much better now by the grace of God.
Not for the BS, right? It's weird. We just had this conversation the other day where it was like I got to a place a couple of years ago where I just say no. Before it was like I felt like I had to do it. I had to show. I had to go. And sometimes things F up your peace. But now to the point where if I feel like the energy's gonna be off or I just don't,
I'm not going. No is my favorite word. I love saying that word. No. And that's it. I don't owe you explanation. Like when I was with our forever First Lady Michelle Obama doing her show, she was like, no is a complete sentence, and it absolutely is.
That's right. Taraji said she loves saying no.
The first one. The first one when I went alone. The first one, because that refocused me, recentered me. I felt outside of myself before I went to Bali. That was a well-needed trip because I was literally losing myself. I didn't even know who I was. The joy. I'm the one that brings the light to the party, you know. And I was like tight all the time and not happy and complaining about that's just not me.
And
even
complaining.
my team noticed. They were like, "Is everything okay? You seem a little, you know." And that's just
and I'm glad her team noticed and took note because, like she said, she saw that like she wasn't like happy, and other people around her that genuinely cared for her, they pulled her to the side and they asked her, was she okay?
In my DNA, so I had to unplug and just go away and be with myself in the middle of a rice field.
What made you want to share that with the world? I started seeing it.
Like, people need to hear that. I think sometimes when they see public figures, they think we have it all together because we found some money or whatever. You know, people think that money heals, and money will bring you more problems than you had when you were broke. I often find myself saying, "Damn, I miss when I was broke and dreaming," because everything seemed possible. You know, but then when you make it and you,
I had to pause it. That was a powerful statement. She said sometimes. She said money doesn't solve everything. I agree with that statement. And she said you're going to have more problems. And also she said that sometimes she was broke and she was dreaming. That hit hard.
You get behind the Wizard of Oz curtain and it's like, oh, this shit ain't what it seems.
Yeah, Straw.
Yes.
Girl, very moving film.
Thank you.
Yes. Listen, what did you channel? Because you are healing, you need a healing journey. But to put yourself in a role like that, you had to go back. You had to go back. That was a trying day. So the movie was like, it took place in one day. To deal with all that in a day, and to have to embody that much trauma. Because I don't want to give away the ending.
Right.
No,
the ending is going to fuck you up.
What did you pull from? Did you have to go put yourself back where you were when you were going through everything?
Well,
bullshit Hollywood executives.
No. I am a single mother. You know, I moved to Hollywood with my son, who was a toddler at the time, $700 in my pocket, and just a pocket full of dreams in Jesus. And so humans, we all can have a moment where we can snap. You know, I think what made me different from Janiyah is that I've always had a support system.
Okay.
So I have a sister circle where they'll talk me off the ledge. You know what I mean? But have I ever got to the point where I wanted to snap? Yes, that's why I went to Bali. You know what I mean? So, but she didn't have the resources. She didn't have the support. So all she had was the voices in her head. And she literally reached her point where she just couldn't take it anymore, and things just got out of control. And she, God bless her heart, she was just trying to do the best she could with what she had. You know, and I, in particular, I am drawn to characters who are voiceless and need a voice because I am such a big personality. I like to breathe light into those characters because I feel like those characters are real.
Yeah.
You know, Tyler Perry didn't just pull this out of the sky. These women exist. These people exist, and they need to see themselves, and they need to know that they're not alone, and that people do see them.
Does it make you mad when people tell Tyler Perry to stop showing those women on camera?
I think that's their own trauma trigger, because in the community, Black community, you don't deal with it. You know what I mean? So if you're forced to look at it often, you will be triggered. So the first thing you're going to want to say is, I don't want to see it. But there are people out there that need to see it. He's forcing real conversations in the community. That's why I'll never stop working with him.
So for a person that does the work on themselves the way you do, when you got to go on an intense emotional journey for a 4-day shoot, what is your approach to that? Like, how do you prepare for like those inevitable triggers?
I have trained, well, I think out of necessity, I've trained my instrument. My body is my instrument, just like, you know, a musician has a guitar, they know how to hit the notes. I haven't known an off switch, and I think that's because I was a mother very young, and when I would work and come home, I didn't have time to process and deal with the character of Jay, because now it's homework, he gotta eat, I got a science fair project, you know what I mean? So I had to turn it off. So I'm just I literally, you ask anybody that I've worked with, I could be in the middle of a scene, bawling my eyes out, and they'll yell, cut, and I'll be like, where the fried chicken?
Whoa, where the fried chicken?
I have these games that I play on my iPad because I have to separate myself from the character. I cannot stay, again, that is that character's trauma. I can't take that on.
Right.
That's right.
I just can't, because I have my own shit to deal with. So literally when they yell cut, I'm back to Taraji, just like that.
Is it easier to shoot a 4-day movie, because you have this movie in 4 days, right? Or is it more difficult because you got to do everything in those 4 days?
It's taxing, but I like it. Especially when the subject matter is so heavy, because I don't have to stay in it long. Like you know, that fourth day I was like, oh my God, I gotta do this again. You know what I mean? Because it's not comfortable. Showing a character's trauma and pain is like showing you some of my trauma and pain. And it's healing, but having to open up those wounds, it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable to be in that. But it is healing.
There's a visual reference in the movie. I think what I call it is a visual reference to Annie Lee's Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. No. Okay, so even visually showing things like that in a film and it being like that's like that.
I better go check out Straw. It's a good
when that
film.
scene happens. When you're looking at a script, is that something that's already there when you and Tyler Perry are discussing?
Tyler Perry came up with that all on his own.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you nailed it.
Oh, I know pain too.
Yeah.
And I've had blue Mondays. You know, where I just felt like, shit, I don't want to do it today. I think we all understand that. That's why that pain hits.
Right.
Especially for Black women.
How did your advocacy for mental illness inform your portrayal of Janae's psychological?
Understanding her breaking point.
Her breaking point,
And
yeah.
understanding
Janai had a
what
lot of
it is
breaking
to
points.
just be going through the motions. Barely hanging on by a thread. Like, I get that. I understand what that looks like. That's why at the end, when they go back, you like, oh, you can see exactly when she snaps.
Right.
It's crazy.
Somebody in the movie said it's more expensive to be poor.
Oh my God. Okay, so prime example. Tyler said when he was homeless, he called his mother and was like, can you send me $20? She said, you need to bring your black ass home. Because it's going to cost me $15 just to send you $20.
Wow.
And I don't think people really understand that.
I wanted to know, without giving too much away, what's the message in Straw that you hope sticks with people after the credits roll? So it was women unity, there was so much about it. What's that one
Was
message?
women unity was strong and
That we
powerful
should
in that
move with
movie.
grace at all times, because you never know what somebody's going through. Never judge a book by its cover.
That's
You never
right.
know what
Never
battles
judge a
a
book by its
person
cover.
fighting. You just don't. And really see people. Really don't just throw how you doing, and you know, really wait for a response, and really ask the question to want to know. You know, connect with people, say hi, how are you, you know, and really mean it. Because that can save a human's life. Just that human interaction. Especially for people who feel unseen.
I wonder when Tyler even was casting you for that role, did he even know what you had went through? Because if I write a role about somebody getting to their breaking point, knowing somebody already got one, it feels kind of...
Tyler and I are friends first, and so we talk all the time about personal things, and so he knows a lot about me. But he said when he started writing, he just had to, he was going through his own thing.
Okay.
And he had to get it out and on the page.
On
And
the
then
page.
as he was writing, he saw me. And he'll bring me a lot of projects. And I'll be like, you know what, Tyler, I don't think this is for me. I think this is somebody else's blessing, you know.
Right.
And then he'll just keep writing. And when he got straw, he said, he hit me, he said, I got one for you. And he sent it to me and I read it. I said, this is it.
This is it, yeah.
So that's kind of how we operate.
How do you not fight somebody over Tyler?
How do you not?
How do you not fight because they attack Tyler?
You got security?
No, not like that. But online, because he does so much for people, and he's so good to, especially in our community. And I think a lot of times people don't see that. Even people that he don't know, that he doesn't know, excuse me, he helps so much. He talks, he guides, he mentors. And you guys are so close. How do you not just say,
I don't think I have to, because his action speaks louder than the haters. Because this man owns the studio. What you got?
That's right.
Every raise that I've gotten and how whenever I'm treated the best in this industry, it's always by him. Every raise that I've gotten has come from a black man, Tyler Perry. He doubled my quote in straw. 4 days of work.
Which is so important for when you go on to that next.
He understands that. That man has helped. He does so much that we don't even know because he's not even talking about it.
Yeah. You filmed two movies at the same time, Fight Night and Struggle, right? Did you find the two characters bleeding into each other?
Not at all.
Not at
Totally
all.
different.
Totally different. That's
He was
good.
the first director to challenge me in that way because I was in the throes of Empire when he called it acrimony. And I was like, Tyler, I don't know if I don't know if I can get into this character. He was like, girl, with your instrument, you can do it. He was like, you will come down and we will shoot it. I was like, 5 days. He said, you can do it. If anybody can do it, Taraji, you can do it. And he challenged me. He knows I love a good challenge.
Alright.
I lean into roles that scare the shit out of me because I have to grow in some way or change or be
That's right.
transcended or something, and that's what I want from my audience. And if I'm not doing it as the artist, then how is the audience going to transform?
That's right.
So I lean into challenges, and he knows that about me because he's Virgo as well. And so now I'm a pro at it because of Tyler. So when he called this time, I didn't even think about it. I was like, great, 4 days in and out. Okay, let's go.
You think the industry is finally catching up to your range? Are you still underestimated in certain roles?
She probably is still underestimated in some
I think
ways.
they get it. I think I'm at a really particular point in a special place in my career where I've done so much that I can't just do anything anymore. Because y'all be like, why do that? You know what I mean? And
That's
so,
right.
you know, it's just
Thinks
looking for
carefully
that
of what
right
she does.
material. And it doesn't come like that. So that my fans are frustrated because I'll post a pretty picture. They're like, that's cute. When does that movie come out? It's like, I have to be very particular about what I'm choosing now. And some of this stuff doesn't exist and I have to create it, so that takes a little longer.
What age were you when you did Empire?
That was 10 years? I was 45. It was 2015.
The reason why I asked you that is because I saw your interview where you talked about you were overseas and how people received you overseas, and you realized then how big like us overseas were, like that whole thing. And I'm wondering right now in your career, you just
Taraji did a good job at Empire.
And you get into these different levels.
When Empire came out, Empire was epic, especially the first season.
What are new experiences that you're having to see a celebrity like at where you are right now in your career that we might have thought that you've already experienced before?
I don't know. I guess for me, it's always because people always go, do you not know who you are? Like I went to the, I still like to go to the grocery store and buy my own damn produce.
Yeah. Like by Empire, you were iconic to us.
Okay, thank you. But you know, after so many years of being told by the industry, oh, no one knows you overseas, and then I get overseas, and they're like, picture. That still drove me. Like I just came back from Cannes. And it's the age range for me. It's like the grandma all the way down sometimes to the great-grandchildren. And I'm leaving kind of, and I forget, you know, I'm overseas. I'm like, nobody know me. And all of a sudden, I get crowded by this a group of people, and then over in the corner I see these young boys, and it's like a soccer team or something. They're standing there with their camera, and I just
Hey, Miss Henson.
I don't even think they spoke fluent English, but they knew exactly who I was, because one of them said, and I was like, babies, come on, and they all gathered around. I'm like maybe 10. But that always throws me when the babies know who I am. You know, I'm just like, dang, I'm still relevant.
Well, round of applause for Taraji, 54 years old. Why would you ever want a young girl when black women age like that?
And I hope you didn't mind me asking your age. I hope you didn't mind me asking that.
No.
I
I tell people my age. Because I hate that women, we feel ashamed of age, and when men can have beer bellies, you balding, sorry.
He's not balding, it's
I gave him a long time.
Put your head down, we can kind of see where the hairline you said.
Understand what I mean? And they can have a young thing on their arm, and we let that pass, and we have to be ashamed of our age. No, I'm not doing it.
I like that, Taraji. She's not ashamed of her age.
You
I
said
like
you
that.
tired with the bullshit.
That's
like
before
that.
I went to Poly.
The
The first time. Yeah, I remember I had gotten to a better place. But see, that's what happens when you give so much power over to humans. See, I know God chose me. I'm called, chosen, and covered. So when
Amen.
you know
Hallelujah.
that, everything's not going to be easy. You know,
That's
I had
right.
to get back to that. That's what got me to Hollywood, was $700 in my pocket and my toddler. Because I knew I had a calling. And I just stirred away from that. But I'm back.
You feel appreciated more?
I do. I don't look, you know, it's like, it's interesting because you go, I didn't get nominated for this award. Again, did you see the powerful talk that Denzel did about how he got bitter?
Yeah.
I
didn't
mean, that
see
was
that
me.
talk.
That was me, and it particularly happened after Hidden Figures. I was like,
After Hidden Figures.
what do I have to do? Like, you know, y'all didn't see the range there?
Yeah.
I'm still playing cookie, and then I gave you a rocket scientist. Like, what? And that hurt a little bit. But again, it hurt because of the power I placed in man's hand.
That's
But
right.
if you step back from that and take that power back, look how many black girls are coding now. Not even black girls, young kids, period.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what I always wanted, and that's what I asked God. I said, I want longevity,
Amen.
and I want the work that's going to affect lives in a positive way. I want the work that people are going to study long after I'm gone, like I did the greats that came before me. You know, and when you ask that's specific. It may not be the awards. You know, I figure if I keep working, that shit'll come. But what's
That's right.
rewarding to me are when fans come up to me and go, babe, whatever it touched me. It made me change the way I, you know, think about things.
There
Like,
you
that's
go.
rewarding to me.
This is a good interview, and I love how
She
Taraji
was,
is really
saying how
like
much of a
speaking
fan
and just
she is.
being
I mean,
authentic in this
right.
interview.
But I'm just like, there's nothing wrong with expressing that. Share that with her, because you just exist and provide that inspiration.
Absolutely.
And then she shamed me because I was like, you damn right, we saw Taraji. I saw Taraji in the theaters for Baby Boy. And she was like, you saw Baby Boy in theaters?
Baby Boy is a classic.
I never thought about Baby Boy in a movie theater.
Yeah.
I just thought about it on BET, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
How old are you? Are you illegal? Child. 2 years older than my son.
But I don't know just how you feel, but I feel like wanting to be in entertainment, be in television, like you think of you because you're able to be. It always seems like you've been able to be yourself. So when I know for myself, when I heard you talk about that before that first Bali trip, not feeling like enough, I'm like, wait, what? Like, she's been this is how you can be the girl from where you from, around the way, whatever you want to call
That's right.
it. But like, you're in Hollywood and you're graceful and your career impacts. So I'm glad you're out of that, because I was like, what? This is the Taraji B. Henson. Like,
It was actual burnout because of the work. People go, you work a lot. I too, because the math ain't math and the zeros ain't adding up, you know. And so because you see somebody working a lot of times when it's us, it's because that one job is not going to cover you for the year.
Yeah.
I wish I
Right.
could just do 2 films and be like, I'm kind of to that point now. You know what I mean? But there are actors out there that just one job a year. because that's
One
how
job
they get
of the
paid.
year.
And I don't think people really understand the breakdown of the math. 50 Cent, if somebody that goes, they made $10 million, right? You gotta remember Uncle Sam is coming to take half of that.
That's right.
Off the
Uncle
top.
Sam is half
And then
of
you
that.
have to pay your 30 or 40%, whatever you're paying your team, off your gross. So you're not taking home $10 million. I know it sounds amazing, but you're not taking it home. Somebody gets paid $1 million for a film, they not seeing that $1 million in their bank account. Do the math.
Do the
You know,
math.
so that's why.
See, to
So I
know,
think a
you
lot
gotta
of
do
it
your
was
math, you gotta
burnout
know
and
your stuff.
frustration. Because
You
once
do.
I lifted my head and was like, why do I have to work so much? I just got burned
It's about
out.
working smarter and not
A
harder.
lot of people thought you were kicking Thailand Oprah's back in during The Color Purple.
Oh my God, why would they think that?
I guess they were the producers of the film. They thought that when you were complaining about the pay,
They have bosses, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Thank you. And when have you ever seen me drag another woman, particularly a black woman?
Yeah.
Ever. I'm 10 toes down for us. Never. And then the fact that blogs, and I think it was just a campaign so that this black movie wouldn't do well.
Yeah,
Right? Because
that could
to
have been the
say,
case.
I even saw some bits about it was my fault that the film didn't do well.
Oh, yeah, I saw that as well.
What? How?
They tried to say that because of the conversation you raised about the money and things that weren't right, it pivoted the focus to people aren't going to go see the film. They care more about what is Taraji saying, is it true or not.
That's total BS.
No, I know it is, but I'm going to tell you what the conversation, what you're referring to. You're telling Jess.
And me and Oprah, I have such a love and a fondness for her. She just texted me the other day, commending me on a job well done in Straw. So that was all fictions. And to draw a wedge between us, but see, I'm not going to let you do that. Because I went to her defense right away. Y'all not going to do that to this woman.
Right.
All of this, what she
That's
does.
right.
Stop it. Stop that. It's
Yeah,
disrespectful.
what Tyler's the person that pays you the most.
What?
Yeah.
I'm never gonna not work with Tyler. That's insane to me.
That's
I
right.
enjoy working with him. I really, really do. We have fun on that set. I love that he challenges me. I understand. I'm never gonna turn my back on us. People that go to the Tyler Perry films, there's a huge population of us.
Right.
So for
Right.
me to say I'm not gonna do that, but that's me turning my back on us. I would never.
Speaking of black women in relationships, your character in Taraji, during her worst moment, black women in the movie still get around her and huddle around her, even almost forcibly, but not really because they identify with her.
Absolutely.
What is, not even the importance, but when people watch those moments throughout the movie, what do you want them to take from that?
That we need each other, and we're more powerful
right.
when we support each other.
That's right. Instead of
I'm
being
a-
divided
you know how
all the
I am
time.
with the sister girls, and I told this to Spelman, late graduating class of
It's too many,
2025.
it's
The
too
last
many
thing I said to them
division
was
going on
ladies,
for our people
we are
right
more
now. That's
powerful
the
in
main
numbers.
problem.
We need to support each other.
We
Do
gotta
not
stop
end
fighting
your
each
with another
other.
sister in public. You got a problem with her, pull it to the side. That's between you and her to fix. That is not for the public to weigh in with their shallow opinions. I said, as black women, we take too many bullets from society. Why would I be another obstacle for another sister to get over? I'm just not gonna do it.
My bad, man. How you know?
You know how
My bad. You know,
Yeah, we had a moment earlier today. I needed to depend on her. How we had
I'm glad. That's beautiful and that's
Okay.
growth. And more of that. But it breaks my heart when I see sisters go at it in public. It does something to me.
It's that breaks
Because
the
we
heart.
have enough to overcome. Why should it be another sister? We got the same struggle.
Yeah.
So the dynamic between you and Sherry Shepherd and Tiana Taylor in the movie, that to enhance the exploration of sisterhood and solidarity. Is that-
Absolutely.
It is.
Tyler wrote that. And he doesn't do anything by mistake. He's a Virgo. He's very calculated.
Because I was thinking that dynamic, was that something you brought in?
It was already there. It's already there. He wrote it like that. See, because, Detective Raymond, who Tiana plays so effortlessly, that girl. And let me just say this about
Tiana Taylor, she was dope in that
She
movie. She
coming for
played her
everything,
role well.
y'all.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
She's coming for everybody and everybody's necks and everything. what I love about her, I mean, she just leaves nothing on the table. She checks every box.
Tiana Taylor was dope in that
incredible.
movie, y'all.
Have you seen the snippet for her new video coming?
Yes. The mini movie that she
directed?
Yes.
In front of the camera, behind the camera.
She
She's
does every gift that God gave her, she is using.
An amazing person too.
I mean, sweetheart, I love her. Anyway, when she starts hearing my character Jania's story, she totally identifies because she's a single mother. So that touches her right. She's like, wait a minute. And see, for us, have you ever seen that that series called, is it The Sinner? It's called The Sinner.
The Sinner. I've
And
heard
it's
of
about
it.
people who do these crimes, and there's this gentleman who's a detective, and he goes to the why. There's always a why. And when you understand the why,
Y'all let me
then
know
you're
what
able
y'all
to show
think about
compassion
this
and
interview.
grace. Because people just don't do stuff just because they're pushed to a point. I'm not excusing, yes. I'm not excusing the deed that has been done, but if we can just understand why, the why. And that's why
right.
I'm always playing the why of my characters, because I want the audience to feel for the person. If I didn't play the why of Cookie, she could have been just another sassy, smart mouth black woman, and no one would have cared. But because I got to her why, everybody in the world could identify with her.
Yep. Do you have layers to Cookie too?
You know?
Do you think that the layers that we see in Janiyah and Straw, and her having to learn to be like, actually admit that she's not okay, not just covering things up, and you talk about your personal life not being like at a party anymore and being okay with that. Do you think that that's something that after watching this movie people can take on easily? Or like what do you think people's journey to get to that point will be after watching this movie?
Everybody's journey is different. Some people find it hard to, very difficult to deal with trauma because it's not easy going through therapy. You gotta deal with the ugly shit first before you get. There is no way to get over a storm or under a storm. You gotta go through it before you can see the sun. But the sun always shines. But you have to go through it. And that therapy journey is not for the weak. And some people, unfortunately, spend a lifetime just dodging it. And it's unfortunate because your life could be so much better if you could just heal. Because you find yourself, you know, almost like a gerbil in the wheel if you're not. Because the same shit that you think you're running from, you're gonna, wherever you are, wherever you go, there you are. In all your problems. You cannot.
You're not drinking, or decision to not drink anymore? How did that?
I do have my wine. Okay. And I love my 7 daughters, but I do take breaks. For 5 months I had stopped drinking. Because I felt like I needed clarity. I needed to get rid of some negative energy that was in my life that I couldn't see. Because, and not to say that I've had a drinking problem or anything like that. I just think, like, you fast sometimes because you need to reset your system.
Yeah.
I did this sobriety for like 5 months. And then, you know, when I have to promote my wine, and I do really like my 7 daughters, but it's low in calories.
Okay.
And it doesn't get you
I'm glad
like
that she stopped drinking, that
like,
she fasted, and she had to
I
like
can
reset
sit by the
herself,
pool
clean out her
and still
system.
function, you know. But I do have moments where I fast from that as well. Because I just think it's great for my mental. Because I'm present.
I was going to ask what presence did it bring before you got in preparing for this role?
Oh my goodness, I was able to get up in the morning. And another thing I find when I don't drink is that I can work out. You know what I mean? Like, that's one vice that I pick up. And I go hard, but I'm sure you've seen some of my videos that I'm pouring into myself because I'm present.
There you go.
You know, I'm not numbing out.
She's pouring into
What's
herself.
one quiet decision, Taraji, you made that had the biggest impact on your career but never made a headline?
The biggest, say that again?
What's one quiet decision you made that had the biggest impact on your career but never made a headline?
Quiet decision. I mean, it seems like everything I do makes weird. Because I thought me going to Bali was going to be quiet. And we're still talking about it.
That's right. They still are.
I think I talk about everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like if you have a story to tell it. I try to keep my breakup quiet real Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to call you back on that one.
Yeah.
Well, this is not even a question, but in watching Straw, I got John Q vibes. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Well, the difference with John Q is that he was very conscious of what he was doing. He was
Yeah.
trying to save his son, and he's like, I ain't got no money, the insurance is not paying, so I'm gonna stick y'all up.
Yeah.
You know,
But it was like
what you would do, what links you would go through. You're a new mom
Yeah.
for your kid.
That's right.
Yeah.
It hits you in a new way, doesn't it, when you become a mother? And it's real, like, it's not about you anymore once you become a parent.
Yeah.
You have this whole existence and being a human that you are responsible for.
That's
And if you are a
right.
responsible person, that's a very serious job.
That
for you.
is a serious
Like,
job.
you know, before you were probably like, I'm a, a public figure. Now it's like, I'm a mom first.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's different. Life is different when you have that kind of responsibility, and you do anything for your child, and you and the hurt that they feel, you feel it 10 times more because you feel like it's my job to protect this child, and so when they're bullied, you ready to go to war because it's like, no, how dare you, you know?
And Janiyah snapped. She kept going. Didn't
She did. She
She
kept
didn't
going
know.
on.
She had no idea she was operating outside of herself.
You know, a lot. We know a lot of things you do are super intentional. Because, like you said, you're a Virgo. So, what's the most strategic thing you've ever done that people mistook as emotional?
Probably talking about the pain that because I cried about money. I tell you what, bitch. If you want to eat, you better speak the fuck up.
That's right.
The squeaky wheel gets fixed, right? Close mouth gets fixed, right? And I'm gonna tell you who's not complaining about that money anymore.
Because after that, Hollywood started coming correct.
Man, listen, they have to.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear my mouth again? I demanded that respect.
This is my last question. Are you happy?
I'm so happy. I can't explain. People go, you're glowing. Yes, because I am not dealing with nobody's unhealed child.
Right.
I am at peace. The peace that I've been fighting for, I
I
have.
can tell.
And
She
it
finally
has
has
nothing
it.
to do with anybody. No other human. It's all in me.
I love you.
I love you.
Do you even tell the unhealed people anything anymore?
No, because sometimes they ain't ready to hear it.
I will say I hope you heal. I do say that.
I just.
This Taraji interview was dope, y'all. She was talking about Straw, her personal life, and Tyler Perry. This was very interesting. Thank y'all for watching this with me, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.